Who can forget the time this NFL player stormed off the field? Or the time this guy mocked the Eagles in the middle of a game? These are the 20 most disrespectful moments in the NFL. At number 20, we have the time Antonio Brown disrespected Tom Brady. Just before facing off against the Atlanta Falcons in 2022, Brown took disrespect to a whole new level. He dropped a bomb on social media, a photo featuring a book cover titled "Daddy Doesn't Live Here Anymore," a book about divorce. Now, you think this book is harmless, right? Wrong. The kicker? Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen's cartoon versions were photoshopped onto the cover. Ouch. Especially with the divorce news making headlines. Everyone was beyond pissed, and Brown's previous posts cozying up to the Victoria's Secret supermodel didn't help. And the worst part is that Brady gave Brown a shot in the NFL and even let him crash at his place in Florida. Talk about not being a great friend, huh? Speaking of behaving badly, what this next player did to his old team was way worse. At 19, Deshaun Jackson's revenge on the Eagles. So, the Eagles cut him loose, and he joined their arch rivals, the Washington Commanders. When he faced his old team, Jackson did this wild thing. He ran the ball backward, flapped his arms like an eagle, and even kicked.
And then that eagle-type celebration, kicking it away.
Total disrespect. The Eagles must have been embarrassed after that stunt. But wait, the Rams got their share of embarrassment too. At 18, Golden Tate made an insane catch and then taunted the Rams for a good 30 yards. It looked easy, but man, it was a slap in the face for the Rams. Tate waved goodbye to them. And guess what? The NFL didn't find it cool at all. Tate ended up with a fine of $7,875 for that celebration. There's a reason they're called the No Fun League. No wonder the Rams moved from St. Louis. I'd be making a run for it too after such humiliation. But the social media post wasn't the only time that Antonio Brown humiliated himself. This crazy talented wide receiver is currently jobless, and there's a moment that explains it all. Next up at 17, Antonio Brown straight up refused to step onto the field, tossed his shoulder pads aside, and walked off. Classic AB move, right? Even the Buccaneers, who gave him a shot despite his previous antics, had reached their limit. Most players retire peacefully, but not AB. Oh no, he chose to retire by digging himself a deep hole in hell. Sure, he might have unretired in April, but it's hard to tell if he'll ever be playing for any team again. Now, let's talk about a time when disrespect hit a loud guy right in the face. At 16, meet Vontaze Burfict, the former NFL linebacker known for being one of the dirtiest players ever. This dude didn't care about playing fair or looking out for his opponents. He was all about those headhunts and cheap shots. So in this game, Juju Smith-Schuster spotted Burfict running with his head down, and he seized the moment. Boom! He rammed into Burfict hard. Not only did he seriously injure Burfict, but to add insult to injury, Juju stood over him while he was on the ground, dishing out some serious trash talk. Yikes! Now, at 15, let's look at the time Juju Smith-Schuster got into a mess for dancing. He loved going viral on TikTok, especially during pre-game warm-ups, by dancing on opponents' logos. But when he tried it with the Bengals, their safety Von Bell wasn't having it. He felt disrespected, so during the game, he made sure Juju wouldn't dance again by delivering a massive hit that led to a fumble and a loss for Juju's team. Now, the poor guy probably thinks twice before busting a move on any team's logo. They even named him TikTok Boy. Yikes. Now, Juju might not have meant any serious harm, but this next player really should have controlled himself on social media. That's why at 14, we have Lamar Jackson. After a disappointing game, a fan tweeted that Ravens should let Jackson go at season end. Jackson wasn't too thrilled. He didn't hold back and responded by telling the fan to STFU with a not safe for work insult. The tweet scored over 13,000 likes in an hour. He ended up deleting it later and apologized for his behavior. But at 13, let's talk about Damar Hamlin, who didn't disrespect a fan, but instead disrespected Jesus. After almost dying during an NFL game, Damar miraculously came back to life after making a full recovery. But guess what? He returned to rocking a jacket that a cartoon of Jesus turned into a zombie. Everyone was pissed. NFL legend Adrian Peterson didn't hold back, giving him a piece of his mind. Damar did eventually say sorry, but not before things got pretty messy. Still, it's nothing compared to what this next legendary player did. At number 12, we've got Marshawn Lynch, who took disrespect to a whole new level with his legendary run. Famously known as the Beast Quake, it wasn't just about disrespecting one person. He disrespected the whole defense in one epic run. Now, this Beast Quake wasn't your regular touchdown. It happened during a 2010 NFC wildcard playoff game against the New Orleans Saints. Lynch rushed for 167 yards, breaking 9 tackles, securing a touchdown, and sealing the Seahawks' 41-36 victory. And the name? Well, it's Beast Mode Lynch
goes Beast Mode!
And the Seahawks fans registering on a nearby seismograph in celebration. Now, Lynch might have played fair, but some NFL players doubled down on the trash talk like this next one. At number 11, Jamar Chase made a bold claim about the best quarterback in the league. While his teammate Joe Burrow recognized Pat Mahomes as the top player, Jamar had a different opinion. In an NFL Network clip from the Top 100 survey, Jamar confidently declared Joe Burrow as the best, an easy MVP choice. When Mahomes was mentioned, Jamar dismissed it with a casual "Pat who?" Reacting to Chase's mark, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Pat Mahomes, who just won his second Super Bowl, tweeted a witty response. He posted a photo flaunting his 2 rings with the caption, "That's who." That's why trash talk can backfire in the NFL. And if you think Chase got a little too overconfident, make sure to like this video and hit that floating subscribe button for more content like this. Now that we're down to the top 10, let me tell you about the rivalry between Odell Beckham Jr. and Josh Norman on the field. Things get seriously rough between them. It isn't your typical healthy competition. Their rivalry can take a nasty turn, transforming into outright disrespect aimed at each other. Teammates couldn't do a thing to rein them in, leaving everyone baffled and annoyed. But wait, there's more. Nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the level of disrespect reached at number 9. When Richard Sherman took on a fellow player and put him on blast in front of millions. The tension between Sherman and Michael Crabtree had reached its peak, and during the NFL playoffs, Sherman sealed the game with an interception, all while taunting Crabtree on live TV.
In the game, when you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Believe me, Sherman's behavior shocked absolutely everyone, including his head coach, who had no choice but to suspend him for a week. But how can we talk about disrespect and not mention Rob Gronkowski at number 8? He's the undisputed king of disrespect in the NFL. One of the craziest moments was when Gronk decided to retire on his terms. The Lions offered a trade, and what did Gronk do? He trolled them by claiming he got traded only to retire 2 days later.
I'm retired. I don't know how that trade can go through, and then 2 days later, the
Classic Gronk move, right? The man knows how to keep things interesting. Now, let me introduce you to someone even crazier at number 7, Terrell Owens. This guy, a skilled player with unmatched talent, had a special thing for getting under people's skin. During a visit to Dallas, Owens stirred up the Cowboys by unleashing his first touchdown dance right on their star at midfield.
Owens draws more boos by standing in the middle of the blue star and look.
But oh no, he wasn't finished. Owens scored a second touchdown and even proceeded to taunt the Cowboys teams and fans right on their home turf. George Teague tackled him in the middle of his celebration, and even his head coach, Steve Marisucci, had to suspend him for a week. Maybe he should have dialed it down a notch. Now on to Antoine Winfield at number 6, who didn't give a single thought to winning with class in 2021. Despite being relatively new to the game, he didn't shy away from talking smack to one of the league's best wide receivers when the opportunity arose. Talk about being shameless. In the final minutes of Tampa Bay's huge 31-9 Super Bowl win against the Kansas City Chiefs, Winfield went all out, taunting Tyreek Hill with that iconic peace sign. But let's be real, an offense led by Patrick Mahomes that couldn't score a single touchdown in the Super Bowl is almost unbelievable, even with a banged-up offensive line. So huge props to Tampa Bay's defense for securing that Lombardi trophy. And as for Winfield, well, he earned the right to talk some serious trash, and you bet he seized that opportunity. But at number 5, there's a quarterback who took disrespect to a whole new level. Let's rewind to 2015, when Cam Newton was on top of the world, dominating the NFL like a true superstar. Despite securing the NFL MVP award, it was his celebration during a game against the Titans that had everyone in shock. Newton only celebrated after sealing the deal with a touchdown, but he took it up a notch. In the end zone in Tennessee, he danced and dabbed, ruthlessly taunting the Titan fans. Even when the Titan players tried to put a stop to the dance party, Newton simply shrugged it off. Well, I guess when you're the MVP, you can pretty much get a pass to do whatever you want, right? But the fight that went down in this next NFL game was crazy. At number 4, we've got Broncos quarterback Aqib Talib and the Raiders' Michael Crabtree getting into an intense argument. But here's the thing, Talib didn't just stop at arguing. No, he went ahead and yanked Crabtree's gold chain right off of his neck. And get this, he broke the necklace into pieces. I mean, seriously, who does that? Naturally, Crabtree wasn't thrilled with Talib's antics, and the exchange of words continued, and the heated conversation played out from across the field. The drama just doesn't let up in the NFL. As we come to an end, at number 3, let's check out this playful moment that didn't exactly play out as planned. Randy Moss, without much running room, shot the moon at Packers fans. Yikes! Maybe Moss should have thought twice because it came off way too disrespectful. So of course, he ended up getting a fine for that. Now at number 2, let's look at how Aaron Rodgers sometimes gets away with some pretty disrespectful behavior. Right after securing a touchdown and celebrating it, Rodgers saw a Bears fan flipping him off in the crowd. That's when he decided to yell, "I own you" at them. He might have been a good player, but even with all of his accomplishments, the Jets QB was still getting a little too ahead of himself. And finally, at number 1, we got the time Bill Romanowski spat in the face of San Francisco wide receiver J.J. Stokes. Romanowski faced disciplinary action when TV replay showed him spitting on Stokes during the third quarter of San Francisco's 34-17 victory in 1997. It started when Stokes confronted Romanowski after being grabbed during a pile-up. He ended up apologizing, and the NFL even slapped him with a $7,500 fine. And that's all for the 20 most disrespectful moments in the NFL.